But at this point, I just can't see myself. I've been kind of like back and forth about answering it. It's getting kind of bright in here. I'm overdue, but I do think I have a little bit of a different answer now. So we'll see. How much is your rent? Do you think it's worth it? For now, we're still out here. What's up, you guys? This is so weird. I feel like I haven't just sat down to talk with you in a long time. And very exciting as we get into this Q&A that it is sponsored by the one and only Squarespace. So thank you so much, Squarespace, for sponsoring. We're always happy to have you, and I can't wait to share more about it with you guys in this video. I think the last time I did a sit-down-ish video or a Q&A or anything of the sort was probably back when I was in Oregon in my car, like doing an update before Vlogmas. So I think we're long overdue. I haven't done just a chat Q&A, see what you guys are wondering, see what's going on. So we should just catch up, you know? Talk about it. I'm using a ring light right now. So of course I asked on Instagram, you guys delivered as always. I actually answered a few of these on my Instagram story already. So if you want to be a part of that, follow me. Link is below at Kristee Vetter. It's a great time. Today's a really rainy, kind of gloomy Sunday, and I just thought it was the perfect day to cozy up in this sweater that I've been wearing a little too much. First question, pros and cons of the new apartment. And I feel like this is something that, you know, I obviously talk about my apartment a lot because I'm in my apartment a lot. That is literally the setting of almost 100% of my vlog footage these days. Honestly, I've been thinking about it, and I was looking at old pictures of my old place, and I 100% like don't miss it at all, which is sad because I have such a nostalgic attachment to it. It was my first apartment in New York City, and it was the place that just like magically clicked when I was touring apartments, and it just, I don't know, it has a lot of nostalgic value, but there's also a lot of things I don't miss about it. But I was also at the very front, right next to the front door, and we had two doors, like layers of doors, and people would slam them constantly, and literally multiple times a day it would just slam and shake and be so loud, and then I would hear people like crystal clear, like there was no sound muffling whatsoever. So I'm pretty sure people could hear me crystal clear too. So there was just little things like that where I was so used to it that I didn't think about it until I moved here, and it's actually so nice to have the peace and quiet. Little things, there's so many things I could go on and on, but I don't want to make this a me like bragging about upgrading my apartment kind of thing, because I feel a little weird. But I am just really glad that I made that decision, and I think it was the right time, taking advantage of the opportunity of having 3.5 months of free rent here. I only miss the nostalgia of like that phase of life when I was just getting to New York and really excited when I moved into that place, and it was really cute and cozy. But I definitely like having more space and having amenities and being able to go to the gym downstairs and having this view and having a, like, I can't complain. Another apartment question. This is one that I actually got quite a few times in this question box, which was funny because one of the stories I had posted right before this was saying that I got an email that my couch was on its way and it was arriving. And I got questions like, when is your couch gonna be there? So it's obviously people were not reading my stories, but it's okay. You know, I'm also guilty of the rapid scrolling. You guys, today is Sunday, the day I'm recording this. This will probably be up maybe Wednesday. I don't know, sometime this week. And as of tomorrow, I'm gonna have a couch. When I posted that story, I thought it was gonna be Tuesday, and then they said Saturday, and then I was like, oh, and then it turned out to be, it's gonna be Monday. So Monday afternoon, it's arriving. I don't know how it's gonna go down. I am very excited about it. Oh my God, I didn't even process. This is my last day in a couch-free apartment. The end of an era, truly. Watch my next vlog. It's gonna be a week in my life, and I'm sure that it's gonna be quite the production of me trying to build this first real couch. Oh, this is an interesting question that I don't think I've ever gotten before. How old do you feel? Honestly, I don't know. Part of me feels like 12 still. Like, part of me feels like such an immature child. Part of me feels like exactly where I am, 25, you know, kind of in adulthood, figuring it out, and I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be, kind of. I feel like I'm forever 21. Then again, like, I feel like I've changed and so much is different those few years since college. So I don't even know that, oh, my air just kicked on. I'll probably have to go turn that off. Let me just finish this thought. I don't know that I would say, like, part of me feels like college just ended and I'm kind of in that still phase of like post-grad, but part of me feels like so much has changed and I've grown so much in that time that I have to be like years beyond that, you know? So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna say I feel 25. Okay, this is a question that I get all the time and I feel like I answer all the time. So if you watch these, hopefully this isn't too repetitive, but I do think I have a little bit of a different answer now, so we'll see. But the question is, how much longer do you see yourself living in New York, or where do you want to go after, etc.? I used to say, like the last couple Q&As I've done in the last year or so, I was thinking that I would be going back to DC sooner rather than later, even within the year or, you know, in the next couple years. But since especially starting this job that I'm at now at a nonprofit, I've learned a lot more, and like the connections I've made and people I've met in different organizations and stuff, just learning more about the vast nonprofit network there is in New York and how many opportunities there are there that I'm really interested in too. So I think it's really opened my eyes to the opportunities that I used to just associate with DC, and kind of like not change my path, but I do think that I see myself a lot in that kind of network. So I don't know, I kind of think that I might see myself in New York a little more long term. I'm not gonna put a date on it because who really knows, maybe I'll up and move to Amsterdam in 6 months. You never know what life is gonna throw at you, but at this time I could see myself in New York longer, maybe the next like 3 to 5 years. I don't know, maybe it'll be longer than that, maybe I'll move before that. I really don't know. I'm not as dead set on going back to DC that soon, but you know, again, maybe I don't know. People are asking for another vaccine update. I did a vlog when I got my second vaccine shot. If you missed that a couple vlogs ago, it was last weekend. So I did just like the day after kind of a rundown of what I felt, but honestly beyond that, I didn't really have any symptoms that lingered very much. My arm was sore that next day and that night once I got it. If you're wondering, I got the Pfizer vaccine, and I got like kind of achy, whatever. I feel like I can't say that right. It sounds like it's saying icky. Achy that night, and it made it kind of hard for me to sleep, but then the day after, like, I was fine. So yeah, my symptoms were pretty mild, if anything. Nothing crazy happened after that vlog that I documented, is what I'm saying. Great question. What advice do you have for starting a podcast? Again, I'm not an expert. Actually, I don't know why I said again, but granted, I'm not an expert, and you know, me and my best friend Sierra have only been doing this podcast thing for, you know, not even a year, which feels like a baby in the podcast world. You don't have to jump into it as soon as you decide you want to do it. I would say, like, give yourself time and to practice, to get the right equipment, to play around with settings, especially if you're doing it with a friend who might not live near you like me and you're doing it remotely. We actually started using this program called Zencaster, which is awesome. They actually just started using a video component, so it can record it. You can record the video while you're on the call too. So that's an awesome way if you're doing something remote or if you're conducting interviews, and just play around with different equipment and make sure it sounds good and you feel confident, because it is like a different kind of platform. And I thought that it would come naturally because I am on YouTube and talking to the camera and stuff constantly, but it is different than that. So you kind of have to get used to that long form conversation and get the right flow, even if you are with your best friend. Like, it's just different when you hit the record button. So just kind of get used to your dynamic and how it's going to come across on the podcast. We had like multiple episodes that we had recorded before we launched the podcast to have them lined up, and they didn't, some of them didn't work out, and we didn't end up using the footage, the recording. So, and that's fine because it made it better when we actually did get to the point where we were ready to upload them. So yeah, I would just say practice. Definitely, if you're able to, invest in the equipment that's nice, that sounds good. We use Fi-Fi microphones from Amazon. They're actually less than, I think they're about $80. Which isn't bad for a really high quality mic in my opinion, but again, I'm not an expert. Sierra actually is more of an expert now because she started working at a tech company that makes microphones, so we might even be upgrading again, and maybe you should go to her for tech advice. And also, I would say build out your online presence beyond just the podcast. So a way that you can reach other people is by making an Instagram account linked to the podcast where you promote the episodes, and you can, like, you know, post cute graphics and things that might bring people in, and things that people will want to share, make shareable content. And also making a website is super helpful. We made our website on Squarespace, which is the best place to build out your online presence. I'm obsessed with Squarespace. Ever since we started our website, it's been so easy to use and it's so user friendly. They have so many different types of little features and third-party things that you can incorporate seamlessly into the website. Like, we have our shop page on there, we sell our our merch on there. It's also great when you're doing it with a podcast because of the analytics are really, really powerful, and it'll tell you so many things about the type of people going on your website, where they're from, target audience. You can also have members only content where you send email notifications or communications. You can have like blog posts so you can interact with people with a fully integrated comment section. You can have like on our website, we have a question box or a submission things where people can write in directly and it'll go to our email. And we have our Instagram linked and it automatically uploads when we post a new Instagram picture. So it just makes it like, it brings everything all into one place. So you can go on there, you can buy our merch, you can message us, you can, you know, listen to the podcast. There's a listen button right at the top. It just makes it all so easy. So you can head to squarespace.com and start your free trial. And then when you're ready to use Squarespace, you can go to my link, which is squarespace.com/KristeeVetter, to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain, which is such an awesome deal. Definitely check it out. And if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing a blog, if you're doing anything that you want to just upgrade your online presence, Squarespace is the way to go. So I would, again, go to squarespace.com/KristeeVetter to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So check it out. Thank you, Squarespace. Okay, this question, I've been kind of like back and forth about answering it because it is just so dependent on your own self and situation. And I know that it's gonna bring on a lot of comments of like, you could get so much more for this, or that's stupid to pay that. But a lot of people are always wondering about my rent because it also is helpful to gauge, like when you're watching my videos and you see, you know, this is a kind of apartment that I got for this, like, and I'm talking about getting such a good deal on it and stuff. It is helpful to know if you're trying to move or looking around and looking at apartments. And because I did share the rent of my last apartment. So got a question, how much is your rent? Do you think it's worth it? Okay, so I will say, like I said, I got 3.5 months free here. So for what I'm getting, for what I'm paying, I 100% think it's worth it and it's such a good deal, because normally the rent for this apartment is, I don't know the exact number, but it's like $2,600 a month, which is a lot. And again, it's all relative. And for me, I just wouldn't probably justify that full price, but because I got 3.5 months free, the net rent is less than $2,000 a month. So it's $1,980, which is a couple hundred more than I was paying last time, but I'm getting so much more, like I said, with the amenities, with all these things that I would be paying extra for an equivalent of going to in another place, you know, anyway. To me, yes, it's worth it. And I knew that I wanted to invest a little bit more in my rent this time because of the pandemic situation and not, you know, having the ability to be in the city as much. Because the story that I posted this question box in, I had my hair tucked back and it looked like a bob. I got some questions like, wow, that looks good. Do you think you would actually cut your hair that short? You guys, I don't think I could do that. Like, I really admire people that do dramatic things to their hair, but that's just not, especially like I've talked about recently, I've been having some struggles and insecurity with like the thickness and everything with my hair. So I don't know if I'd want to, you know, cut any off. Not that it would make that much of a difference at the root, but you know what I mean? Like I want to cherish what I got. I just not someone, I've tried shorter hair and I just don't think it suits me very much, and I know that I would regret it if I did it. So I don't know. That being said, I am looking to, actually this is a good point in this video, I am looking to get my hair done. The last time I got it done was in LA in September, so I'm overdue. What I'm saying is I don't have a hairstylist in New York, and it's kind of intimidating to try and find one because the city is massive and there's so many and I don't even know where to start. And you know what, I should text like some of my other friends that are also blonde and ask if they get their hair done in New York. But anyway, so I'm gonna ask you guys, my friends, if anyone's in New York, does blonde balayage, like a cooler toned blonde that blends well to your root, is what I look for. So if anyone knows any amazing holy grail hairstylists in the city that aren't crazy expensive but also do a great job, hit me up, comment down below, DM me who you go to, their Instagram handle. I'd love to look at like their portfolio kind of, and try and get my hair done eventually again. It's definitely like very dead at the ends and needs a trim mostly, and the color could be refreshed a little bit. But anyway, the question, long story short, I don't think I'll cut my hair in a bob, maybe later down the road, but at this point I'm gonna keep it. This question is, how long do you think you'll continue posting on YouTube? I've been watching you for 4 years, in all caps, which is funny because that is a long time, but there's people that have been watching for like 10 because I've been on YouTube for 10 years, which is mind-boggling. But honestly, I don't know. Again, I'm very much a que sera person, which means whatever will be, and I don't really like to predict these things because it just depends so much on like a variety of things that are going to come up and happen, and you never know where life is going to take you. So I don't want to make harsh decisions for my future self that I haven't even met yet. But I do think that like I'm going to continue vlogging as long as it serves me and as long as I enjoy it and it's beneficial and people are watching, and I don't know, like I don't see an end date. But I do think about it in terms of like some people I know I've seen answer this question and they're like, I'll definitely like become a family vlogger, like I can't wait to have kids and vlog them. And honestly, like I'm such a private person that I just don't think, and don't hold me to this if in 10 more years like things are completely different, because it could change, but at this point I just can't see myself in like a family setting and vlogging like my husband and kids and that, because I'm already so private that I don't like put certain relationships and people on my YouTube channel. And if it, I don't know, I just at this point don't see it being the kind of thing where I'm like married and we're gonna have kids and I'm still vlogging, because I wouldn't want to subject my family to that kind of online, like I just don't want to hear other people's opinions about my family. And it's hard enough like putting my parents in vlogs and hearing people's opinions about them, even though they're mostly very positive and people like seeing them in the vlogs. But still, like, I don't see myself converting into a family channel or like vlogging those things, so I don't know. But whatever will be will be. So for now, we're still out here, we're still doing work week in my life. Favorite COVID-friendly New York activity? Okay, something that I love about New York is just the variety of outdoor things and like parks that are available. I love just going to a park, hanging out, you know, maybe having a little bit of a charcuterie kind of thing with friends. It's such an easy way to still be outside, especially now that the weather's getting nicer. Last summer, this was a great way too. There's so many parks, you can go to a different park every weekend. And I mean, I pretty much do that already. And yeah, I would say that my favorite COVID-friendly activity is just like hanging out in the park with friends outside. Do you prefer East Coast or West Coast? I feel like I see you go through both a lot. Yes, I grew up on the West Coast. It's no secret. I do love the West Coast. Those are my roots. I grew up in Oregon on the coast, and then I went to college in California, so I spent 4 years there. And it's definitely like very much a part of me. Like I do think I have a very West Coast personality, I think, in that I am very laid back, go with the flow. Like I said earlier, que sera, which not everyone, like this is obviously a generalization, but it is a stereotype that people on the West Coast are just like, it's a slower pace, like it's more relaxed. But I do love the East Coast and I love living here, especially in this time in my life. And I think it's really good for me now because the environment is more fast-paced and, you know, everyone here is like, go, 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 has such cool things going on and goals, and like they're just going places, you know. Not that people on the West Coast aren't, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I find that my natural tendencies of being kind of like laid back, let it happen, whatever, it just works to be in an environment that pushes me more and challenges me more and makes me want to be more fast-paced, not necessarily in a like unhealthy hustle culture kind of way, because I do feel like I know myself. I don't know, that's not to say that I'll always live here, but I think for right now it is good. I don't know, I can't choose between them. It's literally apples and oranges. I did say in that when I did the Instagram questions, someone asked what I missed about Oregon specifically, and I said that I miss the nature and being able to just like go out and venture. I got some responses that were like, girl, you gotta go upstate, like there's so many cool things to see in New York too. And it's true that I haven't really ventured much beyond the city, and I would love to. The thing is I don't have a car here, and I feel like it's not quite as accessible, but I am making that a goal to try and, I don't know, that'd be so cool. Adirondacks, am I saying that wrong? Adirondacks, Catskills, beyond the city. And I know that there is more to it, but I have had more of the opportunity to explore nature in Oregon than I have here. So I don't know, I can't pick. Cop out answer. How do you stay so motivated? You always seem to have your shit together. Adulting is tough. Girl, I'm not always motivated. If you watch my last vlog, I had a week in my life where I just had an off week and I was not motivated, and I was trying to like get myself with it and kept thinking like something I was gonna do was flip the switch. Sometimes it's just life. Like it ebbs and flows. You're not always going to be motivated, but that's when discipline is important, you know? And it's not always rainbows and butterflies and like feeling like everything's falling into place and you're always in the right place and doing the right thing. Like sometimes even in your dream job, or when you love what you do, or you love your friends, like things can still feel, you can still hit bumps and feel not quite yourself, not quite motivated, but that's why it's important to have discipline and know why you're doing something and like put in the work anyway, and you will get through those times. And if it is like super persistent, maybe like question where that's coming from and reevaluate. But I would say don't expect to be motivated all the time, because that's just not realistic, and that's okay. And it's not easy for me, and I have my own struggles, but we're all just human trying to figure it out. So what happened to Couch to 5K? Frankly, it was great for when I was in Oregon and wanted to run outside. I don't really want to run outside here. Just like people on the sidewalks, like there was so much open space and trails that I could run, and I could run in the park here. I don't know, I feel like running was right for me at that time when I was spending a month or two. How long was I home? I don't know, when I was spending time at home, and in that environment when I didn't have access to a gym and whatever. So what happened to Couch to 5K? I moved to an apartment with a gym and I got back to lifting weights. So I'm sorry, Couch to 5K. It just, the challenge doesn't compel me as much on a treadmill, you know? Like, I'm not a treadmill runner. On treadmills, I like to walk at an incline, and that's about it. I don't like to run on them. I don't know why. Maybe I should challenge myself to do that, but I just don't think I'll probably pick up Couch 5K until maybe I'm back in Oregon and on trails. But that's what happened. I'm not calling it quitting, I'm calling it shifting. We talked about that on the podcast. Shifting isn't quitting, but I'm gonna apply that to Couch to 5K and pretend. Anyway, I feel like I talked a lot in this video, and actually I got to more questions than I expected. So hopefully you guys found it interesting. It was so nice to just kind of like sit down and chat, catch up with you guys. Hope you're well. Comment down below. How's your day going? What's something good that happened to you? How are you getting re-inspired? What's going on? How are we feeling? Okay, love you guys so much. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one super soon. Bye.